What's up? Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody's having a great time today. I know I am. I mean, for the most part. For the most part. I see already that MK and Johnny Mills got the chat started. Thank you guys for tuning in and for also showing up. Today it's such a crazy day. We're gonna have to talk about many things, and I promise you, you guys know I talk a lot, and today I'm gonna talk even more. Okay, so because there's a lot of stuff to discuss, I'm going to start with the obvious. For the people that are watching this live, and also on the replay, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to Latin Explaining with Denise Gonzalez here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1. I promise I will make it shorter. I don't even know why I haven't during this time. I will make it simpler so you guys can follow me on Instagram, find me even better. Now, one thing I want to say before I start today's show, as usual, um, I I am very grateful for the people that are listening to me through Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Patreon, all the stuff, and even Twitch. Thank you guys. You know, it like I said even in previous podcast, it's an honor to reach people in other places. Hey, Morena, what's up? So thank you guys for allowing me also to enter in your homes and devices and also bring you my perspective and my opinion without obviously the layer of corporate media on current events relating not only Latinos in the United States, Latin America, or Latin diaspora, but also things that are happening here in the nation that affects everybody. So with that being said, um, we're gonna start today, unfortunately, in the worst way because there's a lot of bad things that happened today. And I'm pretty sure you guys already heard about it, which is completely sad, but I have to unfortunately share some information about it. And what I'm talking about the unfortunate event that happened in Uvalde, Texas, as literally a few hours ago, it was reported that unfortunately there was yet another episode of violence in our beloved US of A. And in case you're wondering what happened, at least 14 children are dead and multiple injuries reported after shooting at Texas elementary school. Uh, it says that also a teacher is dead after an active shooter named Salvador Ramos went into the school on Tuesday evening and sent a Texas elementary school into a lockdown. Texas Governor Greg Abbott confirmed this, and the suspect in the shooting is dead, according to the governor. Following the incident at Robb Elementary, children were taken to the emergency room at Uvalde Memorial Hospital per a statement from the hospital. Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas will not return for the last 2 days of its semester following the deadly shooting Tuesday. The superintendent also said all activities were canceled throughout the district. Now, I know that a lot of people, oh my God, a lot of people are going to say a lot of stuff. I mean, they're already saying a lot of stuff. Okay. This is the first time, as I wrote on my Instagram, to my knowledge, of course, this is the first time that as Latinos, we have partake into the concept of school mass shootings. I've just and I've heard many things, and I'm gonna park here for a little bit, even though today's topic is more about the World Health Organization. But one thing I want to say is it's so crazy to me that you have, first of all, it's freaking hilarious that the slow taps, you can hear the crickets on the slow tap sector, okay? And there's not a comment, not a post, nothing. Now, on top of that, because they're back into their caves, they're running into their caves to, hide from all the backlash and all the stuff. Now, I've seen a lot of the slow taps out there claiming that they're not white people. If you don't believe me, I'll post them on my on my stories that are like so weird to me. But anyway, aside from that, that's the only aspect that's hilarious about this. One thing I would say is that you can see how the polarities and the identity politics play a role out here. And it's also a confirmation that what people like Radical Latino, what Bro Tep and myself, we have been saying for years, it's being more and more proven out there because oftentimes you guys witness us going, you know, back to back with slow taps, no taps, Hispano taps, and all the taps about the concept of a Latino in America and how we are actually perceived. And constantly we got pushback from people telling us that we were perceived as this beautiful, colorful people that everybody loved because we worked hard. And we try to tell them that that was never the case. We try to warn them that America only agreed to see us partially like that as long as we don't try to make more money, don't cause any problems, or nothing of the latter, right? So basically, slow taps did not believe us at the time. However, now we're seeing two different sides because America is polarized, and we see that we have the Democratic Party and all the Democrat blue zombies, as I like to call them. Um, they're basically blaming this situation on gun control. They're not blaming the situation on the fact that this kid was not taught any values over life, that this kid, nobody actually watched over this 18-year-old kid that was still in high school. Okay. Nobody actually taught this kid anything remotely human, but no one is focusing on that. Let's focus on the gun. Now, last time I checked, isn't New York one of the states with one of the most rigorous laws on gun control? Then why the hell we had a mass shooter that targeted black folks at a grocery store where they were supposed to be the safest, kill even a former police officer that was working as a security guard, and killed 10 people in one of the quote unquote most safest states because not everybody has a gun. So that disproves what we heard previously from people like Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris and President Biden saying that this is something that's like gun control. Let's just take all the guns away. Listen, people, today we're going to talk a lot about this issue, which is safety and public safety and our rights and all this stuff. We're going to talk a lot about that stuff. I understand that it is imperative that we do something about this whole mass shootings. Okay, I get it. They suck. You know, it's you rob people of their life without them even knowing in places that they go assuming they're going to be safe. I get that. I get that. I honestly get that. My thing is taking the guns away from the citizenry and the constituents. It's not going to solve the problem because last time I checked, in places like California, New York, and other blue states that have rigorous laws regarding the possession of guns, you still get a vast and large majority of crime. It's not a coincidence. But like Jose said, hey, Jose, what's up? Criminals will also get guns somehow. It doesn't matter how we change the law. It doesn't matter if we take the guns away. But what will certainly happen if we take the guns away is two things. You will have innocent people that could potentially defend themselves, not being able to, because there's plenty of people. Just because it's not in the news, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. There's plenty of people that are gun owners that know exactly everything about gun safety that have been able to protect themselves because they possess guns. Okay? Just because it doesn't make the news doesn't mean that those people don't exist. Obviously, it's not the agenda that's being tried to be put out there, but that kind of people exist. Not everybody that possesses a gun is a brutal maniac. That's just common sense. And then when you relinquish this monopoly of violence to only law enforcement, what will happen if tomorrow your government says you're all going to work for free, we're not going to give you anything, you're just going to be peasants, and there's nothing you can do about it because you don't have guns? You can defend yourself, so you're literally subjects of the crown, basically. Whatever your government says, that's what you would do, because you have no other way to combat that. So why should we? And there's something that Benjamin Franklin used to say about that. Like, it's so sad. It's so, I'm gonna paraphrase here, right? But it's so sad when people want to compromise their rights and their freedom for a false sense of safety. I'm, like I said, I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember when he said that many years ago. I read it. I don't remember where exactly I read it. I don't want to misquote it. But that makes perfect sense. Because all the time, that's what we're doing lately. And that's the blue zombie spectrum. Now we're gonna go to the red zombie spectrum, which is even dumber. Because we have all the ultra MAGA idiots that are basically asking if this kid was an illegal alien and are blaming it on illegal migration. And that is another moronic assessment to the situation. There are millions of immigrants that come here illegally that don't commit crimes. Millions. Just because you came here illegally doesn't mean that you're a criminal. It means that you're trying to get out of your country. You don't have the documentation, so you try to roll the dice. Now, are they criminals that come in through the border? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. But that is what they're trying to say. They're not trying to focus again on who taught this kid values. They're not trying to focus up. Something that they are missing is the fact that, and it's a very upsetting aspect of this case, is that this omen, because I refuse to call him a kid, this omen, this demonic soul, killed his grandma before he went on to this crusade. Who does that? Grandmas are like the ultra moms because they don't have to tell you no. They just love you unconditionally. Who kills their grandma? Who kills their grandma? Just think about that for a second. Who has the courage to kill their grandmother? Usually your grandmother is a person that it's like the most flexible mom you could ever have. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. But that's the part that the red zombies are missing. Instead of, just because they're so focused on combating and clapping back virtually at the blue zombies with the gun control, they're gonna go to like, oh, it's your illegal migration policies. First of all, the illegal migration policies that the blue zombie army has is putting Latinos across the border in cages in ICE detention centers. It has always been like that because those cages were built under Obama. Last time I checked, Obama was, oh wait, it wasn't a Republican. So when people say this type of stuff, you know that this country has zero interest in solving this problem. The country has no interest whatsoever in solving the issue that we're having with gun control. And in reality, as I said many, many times, I believe that the only way we can actually have control over guns is by teaching children starting at the age of 10 how to manage a gun properly and safely. And also, and making it something that's mandatory at schools. We have to. Also, how about we focus on the values being taught at home? We want to teach kids about this whole, and I know that the alphabet community will get sensitive about this, but we want to jump and teach the kids about trans stuff when we have not taught kids one of the most basic values that there are, and that is respect for life. How do you teach a kid to respect the life? It's very easy. Give them a effing pet. When a kid has to become attached to something that's living and take care of it and invest time and effort into it and see that pet die and suffer that loss, that kid will most likely be one of the most empathetic human beings towards life. Why do you guys think that psychopaths start their path by killing animals? And I don't understand why people are calling me all types of stuff on social media. Oh, you're ridiculous. This is the result of capitalism. This is the result of gun control. This is because of illegal migration. No, this is simply a case of lost freaking values. There is no values in today's society. They don't exist. It's a foreign language. And it's getting worse. This kid did not went into a high school or a middle school like we've seen before. He went to an elementary school. There's no more innocence in the world than what you see in an elementary school. It's a conglomerate of cuteness, and he went over there and killed those kids. Just think about that for a second. After killing his grandma, which is another one of the most cutest aspect of our lives. I wish my grandmas were alive, but he killed his. Who raised this trash bag? That's the point, and that's the only responsible party of this. The people that raised this trash. Because I refuse to call him a kid or a boy or anything. He's just trash. He's literally just trash. Because only trash behaves like this. And it's very, very, very sad that this has happened. Especially within our community. Because one thing that as Latinos we take pride on is family. Family to us is a very important aspect, and this kid just desecrated that. And it's very painful to sit and see how the news have described this incident, because I can only imagine if you live with your grandma, all the sacrifices that she had to do, because she could have easily retire or leave you in the foster system. But if she's raising you, we don't know what happened in her life, and you're going to take her life. And I think that's one of the most upsetting parts about this, because it shows that not only you don't care, because usually mass shooters, don't care about the lives of others, but you never see them kill their own family members. Now, this trash bag not only not care about his family, which is one of the biggest aspects of a Latino, but he also went ahead and destroyed the innocence of many at a school, destroyed the lives of, till now, 21 families that never got to pick up their kids from school. Just think about that for a second. That's what this beast just did. And people are just focusing on everything but what they need to be focused on, which is what the hell is happening when you have a Latino lose his identity, because our identity is largely based on family, so much that he was able to end the life of his family and the most innocent groups in society, elders and children. If that doesn't scream lost values to you, you might be up there with him. And I have no words. I have no words. I see that MK says, we just had a white dude shut up a grocery store. They didn't ask if he was from Ukraine. WTF. Yeah, absolutely. I see that Jose says, you need to have a special type of evil to kill children and grandparents. Absolutely. You have to be a freaking monster. You have to be the devil's offspring to be able to do something like that. Like legit. Morena says he had no mental illness. It was a calculated event. Well, I beg to differ with you, Morena, because somebody that's sane doesn't kill their grandma and innocent children. He doesn't. You don't have that anger. Somebody that's normal, that's not angry with society, or I think he was carrying that anger. But I would love to know what triggered this, because there's usually a trigger because this kid, make no mistake, this kid, from what I have read, right, this was not his first bout with law enforcement. I believe law enforcement had the kid, or this old man, on the radar. Now, because he made like violent threats before and stuff of that nature. Now, my thing is, 4 days ago, he was posting stuff on social media with his long rifles. So my question is, how does an 18-year-old that's in high school, we don't know yet if he had a job, how do you get the money to buy a long rifle? Because we know you don't need a permit anymore in Texas, but where do you get the money? Because last time I checked, guns are pricey. Okay? So if he had the money for those things and that ammunition, my guess, I could be wrong, but my guess is this kid had other criminal events that he partake into. Because there's no way an 18-year-old in high school could gather that amount of money to buy not one, but 2 long rifles and ammo to actually perform this with a little job. I see that Robert says, hey, Robert, they want to assimilate to this messed up urban culture. Absolutely. And it's the same thing that happened to white kids. Because the people, believe it or not, this whole concept of school shootings and all this stuff, this doesn't come necessarily from white people. The first people that actually did it in this nation was Native Americans. They used to have this type of incident. They were the ones who started this trend. Then white kids picked it up. And yeah, Jose, that's my guess. Maybe he sold drugs to get the money. Absolutely. That's my guess. Okay, I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Now, Morena says, mental illness is used entirely too much in this country. He got a gun, put bullets in it, went to the school and started shooting, shaking my head. Yeah, I understand that, Morena. But not every, because the problem with that is this. Every person, if we get that statement, right? Every person that we know, you, me, everyone in this virtual room, has the capacity to be a killer, to kill people. Every single one of us. Every one of us. Even the Dalai Lama had it in him. You just need a specific set of circumstances and events to have that happen, to push you into that direction. Now, what circumstances pushed this kid into this situation? That's when we're calling mental illness. Because if you let those things affect you, or if they were too traumatic and you could not manage them because nobody gave you the tools, because your family didn't give a shit about you, of course it's going to turn into a sickness. It's, for example, let's say that you fall down the stairs and you hit the back of your head very roughly, and I don't take you to the doctor, and they say you're like my grandma or my mom, and I just say, no, don't worry, you cannot take yourself. But you have like a pain that's so bad in there. and weeks pass by and it gets worse and worse and worse. And eventually you start having a seizures and stuff like that, and eventually you died. What actually killed you? Was it the fact that you fell down the stairs, or my negligence that developed a pathology that affected your brain and you had a hemorrhage in your skull and you passed away? If we are able to tend to the kids and their traumas when they start, before they start festering into uh, mental illness or mental disorders, we won't see this stuff. That's the problem. That's the problem here. It's not the guns. A gun cannot shoot itself. You have to have the motivation behind it to just do that to innocent people, the most innocent groups in society, elders and children. I see that Robert Lee says he didn't just wake up and do this. He has been messed up for a while. Who raised this lunatic? Yeah, he's a trash bag. He's a full-blown trash bag, Robert. Morena says his parents could have had guns in the house. That is normal in Texas to have weapons in your house. It could have been. It could have definitely been. I see that Morena also said, I bet you it was a relative's gun. It could have been. It could have been. Now, the rumor on the street is that this kid had a history with law enforcement with his threats, and law enforcement didn't have probably any basis to put him in juvie or anything like that. We'll figure it out in a few days. We'll know everything about Salvador Ramos, the piece of shit that changed the lives of so many. This trash bag that we're seeing right here on the screen. I know if you're catching this on the replay or you're watching, just listening to the podcast, you're not going to be able to see it, but you can pop on any social media and look for the trash bag. You'll see the trash bag. Now, guys, I don't want to keep giving this horrendous evening any more light than it had to be. But I do want to leave you guys with this. Look, the problems that we're seeing in America stem from us. Okay? They stem from specifically us. And I'm gonna talk to my Latino folk, because I've talked about this since even before I started this channel. I even brought an expert here that has become part of our little community on different streams that Jose has done. I've spoken about mental health plenty of times, many times. The Latino community needs to address our mental effing health. I've said it many times, more times than I can count. I've said it many times. We're seeing more disturbed individuals. We're seeing more heinous crimes. We're seeing less respect for women and children. We're seeing less respect for neighbors. We're seeing theft. We're seeing a lot of freaking loss of values. And it's time for every single one of us to divorce that notion that we just put some fucking salsa on it and everything will be okay. It's not going to be okay. This is just the beginning. I see that Ramon is here. He says, our whole community is going to be blamed for this. Absolutely. We're already being blamed for this. We're already being blamed for this. All of us are being blamed for this. And when people like myself, because I'm not the only one, there's people that have biggest platforms than me that are still trying to bring awareness about mental health to our people. We get so much backlash from the fucking morons that would raise the next generation of Salvador Ramoses out there. They're raising that generation right now. And they have the audacity to tell people like myself and other folks that are bringing awareness to this, that we should not talk about mental health. Today marks a day in history where, for the first time, to my knowledge, a Latino has become the perpetrator in a mass shooting in a school. But I am wrong, and we don't need to assess our mental health. We don't need to go through a therapist. We don't need psychologists. We don't need psychiatrists. We don't need to assess these things. We just need a good chancletazo and everything will be okay. I see that Jose says, I've been under therapy for at least 2 months because of my issues. Ramon says, but one has to see what was this dude's influences. He has been in trouble before, as you said. Absolutely. Absolutely. But now imagine if he was taken to a therapist. We don't know. Only hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. People that are not hurt don't hurt people. Happy people don't have the energy to hurt others. Only hurt people hurt people. So this is my stance with this. When as Latinos are we going to acknowledge the fact that our community here in the States, for whatever reason, there's plenty, are losing the values that once made us who we were, and we are downgrading from where we were. And we need to go back while we still have time before we become an actual target. If it's not too late already. Because look at, speaking of what Ramon is saying, he said they're going to restart the whole build the wall talk since the assumption is going to be that he was illegal. It's already out there. It's already out there, Ramon. Go to Twitter, go to Instagram. It's already out there. I actually had to delete a comment from my page. Oh, another illegal. And this is my problem because it's all fun and games when you see the slow taps talking shit about how great we are, how amazing we are, how we're taking over. What are we fucking taking over? Crime? A bad impression? A bad reputation? Where are your beloved slow taps today trying to bring awareness to the situation so that this doesn't happen again from someone from our community? But they have the audacity to call people like myself and Radical Latino anti-Latino. Who is anti-Latino? The people that are in the cave right now, hiding so that nobody associates them with Latinos today? Or the people that are out here telling us it's time to wake up, do the job, do stuff, and stop this from happening ever again from someone from our community? It's our responsibility. You won't hear this stuff from slow taps because they don't take responsibility for anything. As a matter of fact, they have encouraged violence on many streams towards other people, babies and mothers and stuff like that. They have done this. They enjoy this stuff. They're part of the problem. They are Salvador Ramos's parents and cousins and tíos and tías. That's who they are. That's why they don't care. That's the ethnic image that we're creating today. That's the ethnic image that we want to replace the one that was hardworking, colorful, and responsible people. We're replacing it with this one. That's what slow taps want. But when I say those things, I get called divisive, crazy, anti-Latino. I'm a coal burner and everything of the such. Now I see that Robert says the value of human life is not here anymore. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. People don't care about others anymore. And to see that, especially you're killing children, infants. Those kids are still learning how to wash their hands. I see that Johnny Mills says, we all know the slow tips won't cover this story. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But don't let a black person fart in Costco because they'll cover that story. If you if a black lady is stealing a wig, they will cover that story, but they won't cover the story how about our ethnic image is being trashed by the loss of values that we're promoting online, that we're promoting in our households today. When we're seeing the most undisciplined, annoying, disrespectful, and criminal generation of Latinos here in America today. That's what we're seeing today. But they have time and contempt for people like myself and Radical Latino. And for whoever farts in Costco that's not Latino or white. I see that Jose says they're too busy to talk about Mr. BBC and making the DR white again. Absolutely. If it's something about Mr. BBC, they will go over there and talk. If Mr. BBC farts in Sam's Club, they will make an 8-hour stream about that. But crickets, and I'm telling you, crickets. And I'm daring them to prove me wrong, because if they prove me wrong, which I hope they do, they make streams about this. I hope. Yes, Radical. I mentioned you. I bet you that that's the beginning of something positive. But they won't do this shit because remember, we're the anti-Latinos. We're the ones that we don't care. We don't care so much about our ethnic image out there and how our community is fucked up. And we need to fix it so much that we're the ones making streams about the shit that needs to be done. But they are the pro-Latinos, the ones that hide, and are right now in the cave hiding, waiting this shit to be, gone and something else to happen, or a Kardashian to just have a new sex tape so that people can forget about this. That's what they're doing right now. Yeah, Radical. I was talking about, the trash bag that's the first Latino in America to ever do a mass shooting at a school. And Latinos over here, the slow taps and the Hispano taps, that keep telling us that we're the anti-Latinos, and that when we call out things like racism, white supremacy, and freaking mental health, we are divisive and we're just crazy and stuff. When we tell them that we're just as fucked up as the people that they love to criticize, if not more fucked up. I see that Johnny Mills says, do everybody remember a story when a Puerto Rican couple was killed at this in the slow taps thing, that it was a black person that killed them, but it turns out it was a Latino that killed them? Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I think it was another Puerto Rican that shot them. Radical says, it's Anglo-Hispanic. We need to know more info on his ideology. I'm telling you, this whole thing about the problem that we have with the division in this community, I hope that you guys, if I'm able to just leave you with this to my very small platform, because I'm just a speck on YouTube, right? But if I'm able to leave you with something, I want to leave you with that. There is a group of us that doesn't care. There's a group of us that are lazy. And we have to accept that fact. Not every single one of us is a hardworking person. That was our tios that are old right now. That was our fathers, previous generation, 45, 40, I would say 40 and older. 40 and older. Those were the hardworking Latinos. 39 and younger, very few. Very few. This new gen, trash bags. And Gen Z, ha, a whole landfill. I see that Radical says, best believe that shooter didn't believe in the three roots. No, he probably believed in Cristo Rey. Uh, he probably believed in Cristo Rey, and he probably believed that throwing babies at white supremacy would solve the problem. I see that Radical says, I remember I made a stream on that, calling them out. Yeah. And I also see that Ramon says there was the Hispanic that shot up the airport. I think it was in Florida, and the Puerto Rican that shot up Fort Hood. Both were veterans, I believe. Yeah, I know. But at the same time, never in a school, Ramon. Never in a school. We have never killed kids. This is the first time. And we killed. Now our community is responsible for the image that this trash bag created, because now we're all going to get under scrutiny. I mean, you guys know, at least Puerto Ricans, we have our flag everywhere once we get to America. So now, we're going to get all like, go back to your country BS. Because I even have it in my car. So good luck to us. But hey, we are wrong. We don't know what we're talking about, right? We're just a crazy group of people that are so divisive and anti-Latino. That's the problem. Oh, and make no mistake, one more thing I want to touch before I move into the main topic. Because I said I'm going to talk a lot today. It's probably going to be 3 hours long. I want you guys to understand that the same way that I love how the Hispanotypes and the slow types love to say that we are just the same and we're different from Black folks, and America looks at us with higher eyes and we're better. Did the kid survive, or was he shot? That's a question is a rhetoric question. Was he killed, or was he apprehended like any other school mass shooter? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Now, guys, with that being said, let's just move into our main topic. Guys. This week is getting better. This week it's getting like so crazy. It's not even funny. Okay. And I know a lot of people might come for me for what I'm going to say, because today I'm giving a lot of chancletazos to our community. Okay. Today is that type of show. Today is a hit show on Latin America and us Latinos, okay? So if you don't like this, if you are a person that's too sensitive when it comes to calling out your own people and you think we can do no wrong, then keep scrolling, darling. This show is not for you. Now, in the past days, there has been a lot of rumors, and you guys know that I love conspiracies. As a matter of fact, I still have the Conspiracy Thursdays pending, which is a special show that I'm going to reboot during the summer. You guys know I've been going for a very specific situation. So one conspiracy theory, and I love something that Jimmy Dore said the other day that I thought it was hilarious. Conspiracy theories have become more like a spoiler alert at this point in the society that we're living on, okay? Because, oh my God, it's so crazy. But in the past weeks, I remember sharing, like, I think, 2 weeks ago, I was sharing with MK that there was situation happening with the World Health Organization, and that the World Health Organization was about to do their yearly um, reunion to make decisions about how to assess health crises uh, in the future. So a lot of people, because they were from a specific, from a specific, uh, I would say, demographic. A lot of people thought that, they were like ultra maga, telling people, like, oh, like they're doing this to distract us from what's really going on. And I remember going down that rabbit hole on that conspiracy. And that conspiracy was that in just a few weeks, which was this week from May 22nd to the 28th, Joe Biden in 190 countries, we're about to sign off our civil rights to the World Health Organization that's run by, you guys know who, uh, so that in any event of a pandemic or an outbreak, they could take your and my civil rights away and tell us what to do. Rizzo Ram says, what's up? He says, I saw this joke online. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth? Answer, 6 months. That's so funny. That's so funny. Because it's only funny because it's true. That's the only reason why it's funny. Okay. And the reason why people are raving about this is because there is a lot of backlash about, and I love to say it like that, very dramatic. Get the likes up, people. Get the likes up. I see people coming in. Get the likes up. The reason why it's getting backlash is because this treaty not only is going to give the World Health Organization, that's run by one mastermind that's a billionaire, the rights to tell us what to do, what medicine to take, when are we going to go to work, how are we going to go to work, what's going to happen. Now, the funny thing about this stuff is that it wasn't reported on any mainstream media until people started spreading the word. And oh my God, people are going insane because it's not only for diseases like the coronavirus. You would think, okay, if it's, look at radical. I see that Jose says Clayton Morris spoke on his channel about how the president refused to accept this treaty. That is false, Jose. He's going to sign alongside 190 countries. And I know a lot of people, before I go deeper into what this treaty is about, I'm going to show you guys something, because I know people are like, oh, aren't you Latinos explaining? Why are you talking about other things? Okay, I'm going to tell you something, y'all, suckers. This is not only Latinos, Americans, gringos that are doing this. Every Latin country, except for Peruvians that I commend them for that, for standing their ground. Only Peruvians are the only group of Latinos that said, F you, World Health Organization. We're not going to sign this treaty. We're not going to take a third dose of the freaking vaccine. Okay? Every other country in Latin America is joining this treaty. You don't believe me? Look, this comes from the World Health Organization, okay? And it says all countries which are members of the United Nations may become members of WHO by accepting its constitution. Other countries may be admitted as members when their application has been approved by a simple majority vote of the World Health Assembly. Territories which are not responsible for the conduct of their international relationships may be admitted as associate members upon application made on their behalf by the member or other authority responsible for their international relations. Members of who are grouped according to regional distribution. There's 195 members, but only 190 are signing. Now you guys see that Argentina is there. I'm going to look all the Latin countries, okay? I don't know if Belize is considered as Latino. I don't think so, but Bolivia and Brazil are there. For the people that think that this is only happening and that we're like so different than America, Chile is up there. Colombia is in there. Costa Rica is there. Cuba is in there. The Dominican Republic is in there. Ecuador is in there. El Salvador is there as well. I'm sorry. Guatemala, Honduras, Haiti. Our beloved Mexico, it's also there. Nicaragua, it's also there. Paraguay, it's also there. Peru, it's part of this group but opted out of the treaty. Panama. Portugal, which I don't know if it's considered a Latin country. Now you guys get my point. Our beloved Spain. Our beloved Spain is in there, okay? The United States, of course. Venezuela. Now, you guys saw that I am not making this up. Now, all these groups, before people come at me saying that I'm only talking about gringos and shit, our countries are in this together. They're also signing the rights of your ass away. You're not in a better position because you're Latino or anything like that. Now, the Washington Post redacted so that people, again, because I love receipts, because people love to say that I'm just talking BS. I'm just reading from what the Washington Post says, okay? And it says like this. I'm going to bring up the news says global health talks clouded by conspiracy theories about pandemic 3D. And it says global health leaders gathered in Geneva on Sunday to discuss the pandemic are facing another viral problem, a visceral, passionate online backlash that falsely accuses the WHO of conspiring to take power from national governments. The World Health Assembly, the decision-making body of the WHO, with 194 member states, is holding its first fully in-person event in 2 years as some C-19-related restrictions are lifted. While the assembly, now it's in its 75th year, is usually considered a dry technocratic event. This year, it is being framed by conspiracy theorists as a key moment in the battle between democracy and tyranny. The theories focus largely on the discussion of a pandemic treaty, a potential agreement that could one day regulate how countries prepare for and respond to future pandemics. Though such a treaty will not be agreed upon at the assembly, the backlash has spread fast and far beyond the world of global health. Now, you guys can see how the Washington Post is denying that this treaty is to be signed. So I took my nosy ass went to the World Health Organization to actually see what this was all about. And I want you guys to read it with me. As you can see, again, look at the top left. This is the World Health Organization site, not me. And it says, today, May 24, 2022, the 75th World Health Assembly member states agreed to adopt, let me highlight this, to adopt a landmark decision to improve the World Health Organization's financing model. The decision adopted in full the recommendations of a sustainable financing working group made up of whose member states, which was set up in January 2021 and chaired by Bjorn Kummel from Germany. In one of the key recommendations in the working group's report on the Health Assembly, member states target a gradual increase in their assessed contribution to represent 50 of whose core budget by the 2030-2031 budget cycle. At the latest, in the last budget biennium, I don't know if I'm saying that right, 2020-2021, assessed contributions represented only 16% of the approved program budget. Now, this is one of the topics that people will go around and say, well, they're just talking about economics and they're just talking about, certain things that doesn't have anything to do with, oh my God, look at Radical. Radical says, be prepared, people, that he's going to start talking about green reptiles. No, I'm just saying, this is the topic of today. Now, one thing, give me 1 second, guys. One thing that people are not talking about, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. This is live. Sometimes technical difficulties. Okay, here we're back. We're back. Let me bring back the page. So that's just one aspect of funding the World Health Organization, right? And you might think, well, this is harmless. Nothing is happening. It's just, we're talking about just funding the World Health Organization so that whenever we have another pandemic, they have better resources. And I don't know if you guys remember how the Cheeto, Donald Trump said in the past that the World Health Organization we needed to divorce from the World Health Organization. Now Biden is bringing us back in. And again, we're still on the World Health Organization side. Now, part of the agenda says Working Group on International Health Regulations, IHR amendments. That's another topic for this assembly that they're literally trying to disguise underneath all the riffraff of the financing. And it says, delegates welcome the final report of the Working Group on strengthening, making it more restrictive, who preparedness and response to health emergencies, which, among other things, propose a process for taking forward potential amendments to the IHR established in 2005. They agreed to continue the group with a revised mandate and name the Working Group on IHR Amendments, WGIIHR, to work exclusively on consideration of proposed IHR amendments. Member states also requested the Director General to convene an IHR review committee to make technical recommendations on the proposed amendments that may be submitted. The working group will propose a package of targeted amendments for consideration by the 77th Health Assembly. Now, people might say, right, that these are conspiracy theories, that we're just making this stuff up, that this is not coming. And I'm, you know what I'm surprised about? That we're so asleep. We are so asleep when it comes to this type of stuff. And I have yet to see people trying to boycott this type of stuff. Last time I checked, we were supposed to fight against stuff like this. Now I see that blue states, there is some news today related to this, that blue states and some red states are bringing this whole digital ID. Now your DMV IDs and all this stuff will be on your phone, and it will be a digital form of ID. And that's another thing, that this whole concept that's being brewed overseas in Geneva, uh, it's forming around, because we know that there has been a time where in history, after this pandemic, we have been hearing this whole thing about passport IDs and all this stuff. We even saw this in a movie. We thought, well, maybe this is crazy, that's never gonna happen. Look at us now. If you don't know what movie I'm talking about, watch Contagion. You're gonna it's crazy. But let's continue to because there's more receipts to this. Now, the Center Square, not Latin explaining, the Center Square reported Biden administration poised to hand over U.S. health sovereignty to the WHO. And it says Biden administration's Biden administration is poised to hand over the U.S. health sovereignty by WHO. And it says delegates from 194 countries led by the United States are expected this week to vote to relinquish their respective countries' sovereignty and grant autonomous power to the World Health Organization over international health events. They are expected to approve amendments, exactly what I just read, proposed by the Biden administration to the International Health Regulations of 2005, treaty that defines countries' rights and obligations in handling public health events and emergencies that have the potential to cross borders. That means, for example, let's say that this is what they want to say. Let's say that right now we have the monkeypox. And let's say that in the US it becomes an outbreak. They can tell you, the WHO can tell Americans, you can't leave. Not the president. You didn't vote for the WHO. The WHO can tell you that you can't leave. And it says the IHR amendments legally authorize the WHO to order international lockdowns and mandates, require countries to report citizen data. Look at this part, report citizen data, including their DNA and other information, and collect this information in part to restrict travel. That is the part that I wanted to get to, because a lot of people don't know. They are focused on stupidity and repeating and fear-mongering us about this pandemic that I've been saying for a while. It ended a while ago, but we're not looking at the bigger picture. While we were out here scared in a corner, thinking that this was going to be it, this is what was being brewed overseas, because human nature loves to have power over other people. And this is what's happening right now. We're losing the sovereignty and our civil rights in whatever they consider a pandemic, because that's another thing that I have yet to confirm it, but I've read that it could be if strokes start happening, if heart disease starts happening, it's whatever they consider a pandemic. Now, let's continue to read what the Center Square reported. It says delegates convened this week in the 75th World Health Assembly, the legislative body of the World Health Organization, at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. At the assembly, the U.S. delegate expressed support for the new surveillance system, saying changes to the IHR will improve the global health architecture systems and tools to prevent, prepare, and respond to the next pandemic. Improving and modernizing IHR is critical to ensuring the world is better prepared for and can respond to the next pandemic. The United States of America looks forward to working with member states to move forward on this important issue, strengthening our collective ability to prevent, detect, and respond to future pandemics. Now it says the amendments change the time period for when countries can opt out to change their vote to 6 months from when the amendments are adopted. Once approved, they will become effective in November 2022. after the U.S. midterm elections and before new members of Congress are sworn in. How convenient, right? The adoption of the amendments don't require approval of 2/3 of the U.S. Senate. Liberty Counsel founder and chairman Matt Staver argues the amendments are another example of the lawlessness of the Biden administration. The proposed amendments will give the WHO global jurisdiction over the United States to declare health emergencies. He said in a statement, the Orlando-based religious liberty organization has consistently fought Biden administration mandates in court and won. We have already seen the lawless abuse of power under Joe Biden by the Centers of Disease Control, which the courts have found fortunately blocked. Americans will have very little recourse against the WHO. Staver added that WHO has sovereign immunity and an international court in The Hague will not consider the constitutional rights of Americans. America must not give up its sovereignty to the WHO. These amendments must be withdrawn immediately. Now, I'm not going to continue to bore you guys with the details, but you can definitely look it up at thecentersquare.com and you will see the whole article about what's going on while we get distracted with illegal immigrants and gun control and stupidity and race and Mr. BBC and blah, 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 blah. This is what's happening. I don't think that it's a coincidence that the quote-unquote monkeypox BS, it's happening right when this is about to take effect. And I won't be surprised. Mark my words, I won't be surprised. I could be wrong, but I won't be surprised if after November 2022, the monkeypox outbreak starts going insane. I won't be surprised because there's already a medicine for it ready for your arm. So get ready for that one. Get ready for that one, folks. Because it's just, I don't know if you guys feel the same way that I do. But to me, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on this because I know there's 7 people watching live right now. Let me know in the comment section, in the chat. What do you guys think about this? Are you as shocked? Because I see that nobody is talking. Everybody's just watching. I know that you're shocked. But if you heard about this before, let me know in the chat. Put a number 1 in the chat if you heard about this conspiracy theory a few weeks ago and thought it was just like a crazy conspiracy by the Red Zombie Army, or if you didn't hear that till now, because most people that I've talked to have not heard about this until now. And it's so crazy because every time, and I don't want to even go further, but I will. Oh, I see that Danny says, I heard about it since 2020. Yeah, of course, we heard about something happening, but we didn't heard it like this definitive. MK says 1 from you. Yeah, we were discussing this like a few weeks ago. Jose says, you're describing a scary future for us. Abso-freaking-lutely, Jose. Radical says, what I think is jet fuels camel steel beans. You're stupid. Radical, I think that's your reaction to be scared. It's just to make a joke so that you overcome that fear, you know? But no, in reality, it is scary. It is scary. And it's not scary that it's happening. It's scary that people don't give a flying F. That people are not doing anything. We're focused on stupidity right now. We're literally talking about Juneteenth ice cream and gay pride ice cream, and Dave Chappelle making another joke about transsexual people, which are not important things. Well, this is happening right now. This is what matters, but people are not ready for that conversation. And it makes me wonder, are we really that scared? And this is one of the reasons why it goes back and it correlates to what we were talking previously when we discussed some news regarding Salvador Ramos. This is one of the reasons why It is not okay for us to relinquish the right to bear arms. It is not okay because this shit can go very, 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 very crazy. Radical says, don't psychoanalyze me. I'm supposed to be mysterious. MK says, if it ain't about relationships, nobody want to hear it. Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Mills said, when they realize it, it'll be too late. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm starting to think there's something about animal kingdom that I love. And one of the animals that I think society today can associate with is deer. When deer are more easy to hunt for the hunters out there, they're easier to hunt because deer cannot see, and people actually hit them with their cars more because they cannot see you until you're in their face. That's people today. They can't put two and two together. They can't see things happening from afar. They are still focused on hating Russians over Ukraine. And trust me, I'm going to make a video about that shit because I love how we talk about Russia as this big monster, but we do exactly the same shit out here. But that's another topic for another day. I see that Donnie says, keep arguing about color, race, and all that. All I gotta say is welcome back to slavery. Yeah, absolutely. This is worse. This is even worse because people are willingly going into plantations today. That's literally how it is. I see that Jose says, I think people are cheap. Yeah, absolutely. People are cheap. There's nothing being done, but neither by the red MAGA army or the blue zombie army. Nothing is being done. I don't see no outrage. I don't see nobody in freaking Washington. I don't see nothing. But let it be about Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, and you will see people at the White House as if those fuckers matter. Let it be about that, and they will be there fighting and risking their lives, getting into a no-fly list just to do that. That's literally who we are. And then we think, oh, why America is so fucked? That's why. That's why. Because we don't care. We have the country that we deserve. And that's the message that I wanted to share with y'all today. We have the country we deserve. We have the ethnic image we deserve. We have the results that we deserve. And it sucks for the minority that doesn't want to live like this. It sucks for the rest of us. Because it sucks to always be the group that says, I told you. It sucks. In many, 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 many ways. I see that Johnny Mills says, and you wonder why other countries look at Americans differently. I cannot blame them. Yeah, absolutely. And let's not add the fact that we are the bully of the world. America, I'm starting to believe that America doesn't tell you to go to other countries, and they tell you other countries are very dangerous and no go visit, because in reality it's only dangerous to Americans. Why? Because America has become the world's bully. Everybody hates Americans because we go everywhere, destroy, pillage, rob, and kill everybody. So everybody wants to take it out on the Americans. That's what's really happening. That's the problem that we have. Oh, but don't let people try to do that here, which is why it represented 9/11. I'm not saying that was okay. That was wrong in many fucking ways. It was horrific and sad. My thing is, was that the initial thing or that was a response? I leave that up to y'all to answer. But this is something that for every little blue zombie, part of the blue zombie army out there that's yelling at the top of their lungs because Salvador Ramos decided to ruined the lives of 21 families today, including his own, that's yelling at the top of their lungs today that guns need to be taken out of the hands of constituents, you are a disgrace. That's what you are. You don't deserve to live in America. I see that. Hey, Pana, what's up? She says, I hate when people shoehorn race as something you shouldn't worry about. You fight two battles at the same time. Yeah, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. So yeah, this is the problem that we have when we want to blame things on stupidity. And that goes also for the red MAGA army too, the red zombie MAGA army. That goes for y'all too. That goes for y'all too. All of us are supposed to be moderate. You're not supposed to be for sale. The only people that sell themselves and associate themselves with money and benefits for themselves are prostitutes. And I think that's something that people need to understand. I'm neither Republican or Democrat or Green Party or associated with nothing. I'm associated with myself and what I believe is right. Because if you're associated with a party, you are nothing but a political prostitute. And let that be very clear. If you're associated with any party while hating the other, you're nothing but a political prostitute and a tool. Hey, Maceo, what's up? I see that more people are coming in. Make sure you hit the like button. That's all I'm saying, guys. And I hear from both sides the same stupid rhetoric. Oh, like, it's just the blame of this side and their politics. Oh, it's the blame for this side and their politics. No, it's we are to blame because we empowered stupidity. Joe Biden or Donald Trump or anybody that becomes a politician or a leader, we pick. There's millions of idiots that pick that person. Now, you might hate the idiots that pick Joe Biden over Donald Trump, but you're still an idiot if you're blinded to your army. You're not supposed to be affiliated for nothing because then you don't know how to fucking negotiate. You're not supposed to negotiate by affiliating with the people that you're trying to negotiate with. Are you stupid? You're supposed to not be associated with them in order to just negotiate with them something. Show them that you're willing to not vote them in. I don't know. People are just retarded nowadays. But anyway, guys, I am going to start wrapping this up. Today, of course, is not going to be a call-in show. Today, I just wanted to share news with you. And I hope that today's show has opened your eyes wherever you are in the world, because this is not something that's only affecting the United States of America. This is affecting 193 countries in the world. And like I said to the Latin idiots that are here, or that are gonna also, hey, watch this, do your own research. And before trying to say that Americans are this and that, just know that if you're not a Peruvian, your country is doing the same stupid shit that America is doing. I just showed the list a few minutes before. The only country that's not signing this treaty in America is Peru. Thank God for them. And I don't believe in God, so imagine. Now, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed today's stream. Tomorrow, I'm going to be live again. It's very unusual for me to be here on a Wednesday. But tomorrow, I have a very special show regarding 2 years ago. There was an incident that happened that changed the world and how the world sees Black folks. It doesn't matter from where you saw this happen. It doesn't matter from which part of the world you are, if you're a Black person or not. You know who George Floyd is. And tomorrow, we're going to discuss what has happened 2 years after George Floyd. So, guys, that has been all for today. I hope that you have enjoyed this stream. Let me know, because I know a lot of you guys are still in shock by what we share here today. Just know that there is one sinister individual that I'm not going to name because I don't want my channel to be taken down, but you know who he is. Just know that all this situation that's happening, it's like Lord of the Rings, which is why I picked, what I picked. This whole thing is just our countries all getting the ring of Sauron. All of them. One World Health Organization to rule us all. Okay? That's literally what's happening right now. If you don't know, I feel bad for you and your kids. There's not much that we can do. We're only a few people. I see that Pana says, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about it because it's about race." But definitely, guys, wake the fuck up. The ring of power is out there trying to come for all of our asses. We might be hobbits in this situation because we're Latinos. Let's just face it. But hobbits change the curse of what happened. United with other people. We need to wake up. Let's start making freaking sense again, okay? So, guys, tomorrow, I hope that you all join me to discuss 2 years after Mr. Floyd. And I'll see you guys there. Take care. Peace.